So it's midnight, the dawn of another day. Hey, Pops. Thanks a bunch. You've really done a lot for everyone all these years. Detective Bad, don't tell me today is the day. Yeah, it is. With this, I can retire in peace. It was down to the wire, and we almost didn't make it. But we didn't. We solved everything. Well, that's just it. We haven't solved everything yet. The ringleader of the smuggling ring, you, the thief, we're chasing after. I was confused. The legend of the thief, of that thief, is now over. Mr. Edgeworth, that bit of logic earlier, it was brilliant. I feel like I can leave it all in your hands. I'm counting on you. Is it really true, Uncle Bad? Were you part of the thief? As I said to you earlier, Kay, I'm truly sorry. I wanted nothing but a peaceful life for you. Uncle Bad. Hey, don't take it so seriously. It's all just one big joke, right? Unfortunately, it isn't. Oh, come on, sir. She's just yanking on my chain, isn't she, Mr. Edgeworth? Detective Bad. Wait, no. You're no longer a detective. Mr. Bad, I'd like to ask you about the thief. Oh, you too, Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth, here. I should give these back to you. These are the pages from the KGA case file that the thief stole from my office. Wait, what? You fucking bitch. You stole them from me. Mr. Edgeworth, I must apologize for last night. So the thief who stole into my room was you, was it? Wait, then that means what? Tell me it's not true. That's too insane for me to believe, sir. It's true, even if it's not something you want to hear. The KG8 incident, it was a very emotionally trying case. We stood in that courtroom, Faraday as the prosecutor, and I as the lead detective. Faraday had evidence in his possession that proved the defendant guilty. However, because it was stolen, the defendant was found innocent. Sure, didn't get a search warrant. Though, I mean, I don't think they have search warrants in this game, to be completely fair. Yeah, you can't introduce obviously stolen evidence. You was the elder sister of the victim in that case. When the defendant was pronounced not guilty, she let out a great wail. That's when we realized that there was a limit to what the law could do. The only way to bring someone like that to justice was to do it so outside the courts. So we hired that dude to kill him. That's what we thought at the time. That's how we formed the thief. And vowed to bring the light and dirty dealing companies had with the ring. Any dirty deal. Okay. Including companies that dealt with the Amano group. Mr. Amano's conglomerate. We called ourselves the Yata Garesu. Sure, fuck it. And flexed our collective muscle. Yeah, it's just thief again. We exposed all sorts of shady dealings as a warning to the business world as a whole. By doing that, we were able to stop the higher-ups from covering things up. And then, it was finally time. We'd finally arrived at the moment when we'd find out the ringleader's true identity. It was then that you literally stabbed us in the heart. And Faraday died for it. But why? Wasn't she the sister and the victim of the KG8 incident? After Faraday's death, I looked into her past. And that's when I found out that she was a phony. The victim of the KG8 incident, CCU. She never had a sister. Oh my god. What? And that means Sheena wasn't the only fake name she used. Callisto U was also another pseudonym. From the very beginning, that woman was a spy sent from the smuggling ring. She said it herself. I was destined to betray everyone from the very beginning. Anyway, let's return to the real topic at hand. Mr. Edgeworth, this trump card that we stuck onto this page of the case file. Please use it wisely. Trump card. That photo that we stuck on here, try peeling it off. Behind it slumbers a piece of evidence that Faraday hid away all those years ago. It's a mark of the thief, but why? This is a directives card from the big boss. Take a look at the back. This was something Kochin had on him at the time of the KG incident, 10 years ago. That blood is from the victim of the incident, Miss CCU. Why is the card adorned with the mark of the thief? The reason why we called ourselves the thief was because of the three-legged raven mark that the smuggling ring's boss used. Apparently, orders from the boss would come on these cards without fail. The person who received the order was supposed to burn it immediately after reading it. And apparently, it burns a bright green flame when set ablaze. Oh boy. Mr. Polano, I have a business dealing with you. So you mean the cards were written in Babalisian ink? The fact that the card that Mr. Kochin was sent made it into Faraday's hand at all is nothing short of a miracle. We decided that whenever we stole anything, we would send a card along with it to the police. So that's when those white cards are. A great thief that used the mark, and only those within the ring would know. It was our message to the ringleader, that we were only a few steps behind. Yo, epic. And one more thing, Detective Gumshoe. I'm entrusting this to you. What is this, sir? This is what I was talking about earlier. During the KG incident trial, Faraday had this in his possession. This important definitive piece of evidence. Well, I thought it was stolen. How do you have it? The person who stole it from us 10 years ago. Was me! Was a man by the name of Ernest Amano. And he had it locked and hidden away for all this time. We forced him to tell us where it was finally, after the other day's kidnapping case. Oh yeah, because we have shit on him for obstructing. Nice. This is a video. Whoa, don't come any closer, I'm warning you. This is the same video as the one Mr. Portsman was trying to conceal from me. Yeah, it would seem that even he was caught up in the ring's web. Mono was preparing to take on the boss someday. The video was his insurance. That's where that prosecutor comes in. He was to retrieve this video. On top of that, he was apparently instructed to sneak into your office and steal the trump card. You saw it for yourself, right? The card that told him to preserve the evidence. And that card was not the calling card of the thief, but rather a directives card from the ringleader to Mr. Portsman. The two pieces together make up a strong weapon for those whoever holds them. The evidence Mr. Portsman thought of to withhold from me, and the one that you stole from my office last night. Both pieces are illegal, and for me to use either one is. Whether you use them or not is up to you, but they will be of help to you when you take on someone who's above the law. Is boss one of those who cannot be brought to court? The Mr. Faraday spoke of. Well, if it's an ambassador, no, we're fucked. Detective Bad. There's no limit to the law for it is the people who determine the limits to them. You still insist that, even now, you really are something else. I'll leave the rest in your hands. Now then, Detective Gumshoe! Handcuffs! It's time to lock up the last remaining of the member. Pops! Don't ever lose your detective spirit. Pops, why is this happening? This isn't justice! Like I always told you, not get emotionally involved. Now let's go. Yes, sir! Is this really the end of a legend? Start of a new one. Kay here. Happy music. But I mean, it's got to be the ambassador. No one else is just gonna have ink to burn. Like, literally wasted the ink. So now we know who the thief really was. And yet there remains much to this case that needs to be resolved. Like how the weapon crossed country lines, for example. If it's an ambassador, it doesn't matter. He can let it go. The two countries have incredibly strict security systems and entry procedures. Short of a miracle, it's impossible for someone to have smuggled them in. Smuggling them in, huh? We'll need to open a new line of investigation on just this aspect alone. But before we do, I would like to go through my evidence once more. Unnecessary evidence has been removed. Remaining evidence has been rearranged. Oh, there's a VCR here, sir! Counterfeit bills, trump card, hair sticks, definitely the passion flowers. I don't know how this pick is still relevant. Now we can see what's on the tape Detective Bad gave us. This piece of evidence from the KG8 incident hidden from sight for 10 long years. I just know that this is related to the current case somehow. Detective Gumshoe, if you could please play the tape for us. Sure thing, sir. This man, it's Mr. Cochin. Oh, he's just standing there with a knife? He's holding a knife in his hand! This looks like footage from a security camera at the entrance of an apartment building. An apartment building? How do you figure that? Unlike you, I actually read the summary file of the KG8 incident. And the crime scene was the victim's own apartment. So this footage was shot at the entrance to the victim's own apartment building. At the trial, Mr. Faraday claimed that this piece of footage existed. However, no one could find it. Yes, somehow, someone was able to steal it and hide it through Mr. Ernest Amano. I can see how this would be been definitely a definitive piece and why someone would want to hide it. Well, it's a piece of evidence from a 10-year-old case. There's no way it's related to this case we're working on now, sir. Yeah, it is. Actually, I believe it has everything to do with the case we're working on now. The ringleader even went so far as to use Mr. Portsman to retrieve it. Which means that in this video lies a very inconvenient bit of footage to the ringleader. They're gonna fucking, like, stroll out in a fucking bathrobe or something. Where? Where? Wait. What was that? Go back. Huh? That bit you just played now. Please show it to me again. Oh, that's it. This car. This is something we cannot overlook. That's something interesting. Who's in the back? Why is that, sir? That's an embassy car. Look here, Detective Gumshoe. That is an embassy car. This is the national flag of the Principality of Codofia. And because it has the national flag on it, we know this to be an official government car. But the question we should be asking ourselves is, what was a government car doing here? Oh, wow, Miss Von Karma and Mr. Edgeworth. So you were here all this time. Old man. Beat him with the cane. Ambassador Alba. Thank you very much for continuing the investigation even at this time of night. If only I was even a tiny bit more careful. This tragedy would never have happened. I'm truly sorry. This wasn't your fault, sir. This has nothing to do with how careful you are. You idiot, Corcus. You couldn't chase after a simple thief. Oh, let's get back to the real reason why I came looking for the two of you. I would like you to put the investigation on hold for a while. Can you do that? No. Excuse me. I heard you've apprehended the thief and turned this embassy upside down. And we're in the middle of an event celebrating our country's reconciliation. We can't exactly have the police and detectives walking around here forever. Shut up, old man. You're scaring the visitors away. so I hope that you can understand how I feel. But we must finish our investigation and resolve the remaining issues. Why don't we leave the rest to the Alcahestian and Babalisian police? Ambassador, we are so close, just a little more and... Miss Von Karma, I'm afraid I've made up my mind. And without my permission, you cannot proceed with your investigation anyway, right? This is neutral area. We don't have to go anywhere. That's true, however, as he said at the very beginning, this area can be considered to be Alcahestian soil, in which case we are nothing but foreigners in their land. Is this really where our investigation ends? Shifu, we found Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Shifu, this way. Yo. He kicks the old man. Agent Lang, you back on the scene rather quickly. If I laid back and took a break, I'd lose the scent of my prey, Mr. Prosecutor. Agent Lang, why have you returned? Because I have to solve this case no matter what. Well, I'm sorry to inform you. Don't take this the wrong way. I don't suspect you personally. However, a member of Interpol was just found to be a thief, and so... Grr. Under these circumstances, I wish to put your investigation on hold. After all, I believe our own police, can handle things from here. They're quite capable. With all due respect, sir, eat my fucking ass. At this rate, our investigation really will come to a close. Master Alba, I get it now, I really do. Oh, very glad you understand how I feel. No, not that. What I was talking about is... I know who the killer is behind tonight's murder. You? No? The killer? Do you really mean that, Agent Lang? Wolves don't lie. No, isn't. Well, let me first say that I'm not talking about Mr. Gochen's murder. That was all Sheena. Lang Z says the truth lies not at the exit, but rather shines outside the maze itself. The truth is unexpectedly simple. So let me ask you this. Who do you think was Damas the Sackett's killer? I'll tell you who. Old man! It was you, Franziska von Karma. What? Are you fucking kidding me? I was the killer? Hey, wait. But that's impossible. Yeah. Whip is actually quite... Ow! Hold your tongue in that ludicrous remark you were about to make. Agent Lang, are you seriously accusing her of murder? Yeah, I am. He doesn't appear to be joking. Hey, sis, I remember that just before Ambassador Alba went to give his speech, he called you into his office, right? Yes, he did. But what does that have to do with anything? I'm getting to that. Furthermore, in order to solve both cases, you moved around rather freely between Albahast and Bobhal, did you not? And where is your evidence that I am the killer? I was just getting to that. Trust me, I'll show them to you in due time. Ambassador Alba, in order for you to bring this case to a close, me to bring it, I'll need to inspect your office one more time. Will you grant me permission? I know what he's doing. He's just getting first stall. He's making him think that he's looking to get Franziska and nailing her on this rather than Alba. Oh, fucking 8 million IQ, bro. Holy fuck. Actual respect hours here. With things as they are, I suppose I don't have much of a choice, do I? Good. Now then, let's move out. Oh, and don't even think about running away, it says. My pack will be keeping a close eye on you. You can bet your bottom dollar on that. Huh. As if I would have any reason to flee. But just so we're clear, your logic had better be sound. Because I'll accept nothing short of a perfect explanation. She seems rather upset. Not that I blame her. I expect that you'd accept no less. But we'll see how long you can keep that nose of yours stuck up in the air like that. Agent Lang, as someone related to tonight's case, I request that you allow me to take part. And so that I may clean up my superior's mess. I guess I should. The more the merrier, especially when it's the peanut gallery. Oh, in that case, I want to join in too. I still haven't seen what it looks like in Albast yet. You okay, and then you're gonna have to let me in too, pal. I can't sit around and do nothing when Vince Von Karma's in trouble. Hey, Gummy, let's have a competition to see who can save her first, okay? Okay, I'll take you up on that. Oh yeah, I'm fired up and raring to go. As a detective, I don't believe this is something you're supposed to be excited over. Sounds like this is going to be a real interesting. Ambassador Alba, I'll be bringing these kids along for the ride. Very well. I'd like you to keep it in mind that this will be your last chance. I'll have this whole mess cleaned up before you know it. Now let's go. Don't leave the tape there. March 15th, 12:53 a.m. Okay, now let's first go over the facts one more time. Manny Coach's body was found over in the Secretariat's office in Babao. The weapon that looked like took his life was one of Albast's ornamental knives. And then the body of Damas II, Mr. Kashinu, was found here in the Albastian ambassador's office. Through our investigation, we found the murder weapon was this Prima Duck statue. And that this is actually Bob Hall's statue. This case, no matter how I look at it, sis, if it wasn't you, then there's no one else that could have pulled this off. Agent Lane, do you understand the full implications of what you're saying? Of course I do, sis, and I'm serious. You were on the trial of the smuggling ring, and you wanted any evidence you could find. And so while people were distracted by the thief's appearance, you snuck in here. That's when you two ran into each other. And that other thief took advantage of the confusion from the fire. You and that other thief. Even if all that were true, how do you explain the movement of the weapons? Don't worry, I plan to show you that you're the culprit behind that too. You had permission to investigate both embassies at will. And with that kind of free reign, you could have, hey now. Look, sis, I thought I already told you I'm not messing around here. This case isn't directly tied to the smuggling ring, but Gina certainly is tied to the smuggling ring. He is right in saying that she is a member of the smuggling ring. However, the connection between the case and the ring, could it not be deeper than that, what any of us can imagine? Grr. Let's get this ridiculous circus over with already. Francisca, you need to calm down. I need to just... Is there anything I can... Oh, I can check here. Okay, good. Okay. I'm assuming Cochin is the guy in the passenger seat. You can't tell who's driving. It wouldn't matter, you'd just have regular people. But that... Kadofia. So they were still a thing together back then, so... Were they both? Was he... also a retired army man? It doesn't say if he was like the ambassador or not. Wait. Oh my lord! He looks nothing like him. Jesus. Because you only know the facts of the Albastian side of the case. I don't believe you can see the case as a whole, and therefore solve it. What? Don't worry, I am taking this seriously as well. I'll prove your innocence. That's the only way to be, Mr. Prosecutor. But can you come up with anything else that can top my hypothesis? Of course, your explanation has to solve the mystery of the moving weapons as well. Of course, and I will. Let's now delve into the truth behind the murder of Damask II. You do understand, don't you, Miles Edgeworth? This isn't just a confrontation against Agent Lang. If you can't figure out how the murder of Damask II is related to the smuggling ring, then it will mean the end of our investigation. As long as I have no good counter-argument to his hypothesis. And the best I can do is walk this thin tightrope and see what I can do. Come on, Mr. Prosecutor, let's get started. Yes, let's. Border crossing weapons. One of Albast's knife was used in Babel to murder Mr. Cochin. I mean, Mr. Cochin was the one that wrote this note. 1,000,000%. This note written by fucking Cochin. He was ordered to steal it. So this is how this is tied to the smuggling ring, because Mr. Cochin is part of the smuggling ring. And the murder weapon in the killing of Damask II is Bobhel's Prima Duck statue. Somehow those two objects were able to penetrate the two countries' impenetrable security. The only one who traveled the two countries just before and after the crimes was you. So, as long as I can explain how the weapons moved about, Francisco will remain a suspect? I can't explain it. You got it, Mr. Prosecutor? So why don't you stop giving me a hard time? Under these circumstances, who the heck can carry a weapon across country lines? I've worked through every possibility, but there's only one that's plausible. Your boss. Agent Lang, now that I've learned from just now, what I've learned from just now is that you've lost sight of yourself. What are you talking about? By focusing too intently on which it is in front of you, we become blind to the truth. Unless he actually is just fucking two-head and doesn't get it. But I think he's smarter than that. I think he's doing it just as a trick. Don't tell me Lang Zi never said anything to that effect. You, prosecutor! Who do you think you are speaking about Lang Zi's proverbs like that? I don't need his proverbs, because my words are all we need. We'll need to see the truth. I am the proverbs.